Hello, good day. I'm Mark Elisayo and I'm going to discuss to you the physiology of blood circulation. As for our core concept, we have here the blood, the heart, the pulmonary, and the systemic circulation. So, as for the blood, we know that the blood is a special liquid not only provides nutrition to the body cells but also remove waste products. So, how do blood flows? Blood flows through the heart and lungs and body in a series of steps after delivering oxygen and nutrients to all of the organs and tissues. So, blood becomes deoxygenated and the blood will enter to the heart and flows to the lungs to gain oxygen and get rid of waste. So it then flows back to the heart, which pumps the refreshed blood out through the aorta to nourish our body again, and this is what we call the blood circulation. So there are two types of blood circulation, the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. So always remember that the pulmonary circulation occurs first before the systemic circulation to occur. So, the heart is the central part of the circulatory system, where its function is to pump blood and distribute oxygenated blood throughout the body. So, the heart consists of two sides, the right and left, and the one that separates them is the septum. It has four chambers, which is the right and left atrium and right and left ventricle. And lastly, it have four bulbs that keep the moving of the blood in the heart in the right direction. So for the pulmonary circulation to work, the deoxygenated blood will enter the heart through two large veins, which is all we know that the superior and inferior vena cava. Going to the right atrium, so when the right atrium is filled with deoxygenated blood, it will contract to allow the tricuspid valve to open and the blood will flow to the right ventricle. So after filling the right ventricle, the tricuspid valve will now close to prevent the oxygenated blood to go back to the right atrium. And this space is known as the atrial systole. So after filling the right ventricle with the oxygenated blood, another valve will open, which is the pulmonary valve. So the deoxygenated blood will now be pumped up through the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery splits into the right and left pulmonary arteries, and it will travel to each lung, and this space is called the ventricular systole. After that, the pulmonary valve will close so that the oxygenated blood will not go back to the right ventricle. The deoxygenated blood will now travel to the lungs alveoli where gas exchange occurs. So, the lungs' main function is to help oxygen from the air we breathe enter the blood cells. So, blood cells then carry oxygens around the body to be used in the cells found in our body. So, the lungs also help the body to get rid of carbon dioxide gas when we breathe out. After that, the deoxygenated blood will now travel to the capillary beds that are located in the alveoli and where gas exchange occur. So, carbon dioxide in the blood will be removed and will be replaced by oxygen, and gas exchange occur as a result of gas partial pressure gradients in the lungs alveoli and the capillaries that runs through them. After that, the oxygenated blood will now leave the lungs through the pulmonary veins and will be back into the heart, but this time it is in the left atrium. And that is where the pulmonary circulation will end. Now, let us proceed into the next circulation, which is the systemic circulation. So, after filling the left atrium with oxygenated blood coming from the lungs, oxygenated valve will contract to allow the mitral valve to open and blood will flow now to the left ventricle. So, after filling the left ventricle, the mitral valve will now close to prevent the oxygenated blood to go back to the left atrium. After filling the left ventricle with oxygenated blood, the another valve will open, which is the aortic valve, allowing the oxygenated blood to go to the aorta. So after that, the aortic valve will now close to prevent oxygenated blood to go back to the left atrium. So oxygenated blood is now in the aorta, which is the human largest artery, to distribute oxygenated blood to the part of our body. And that is the end of the systemic circulation. In summary, pulmonary circulation is a type of circulation that brings the oxygenated blood to the lungs and back oxygenated blood to the heart, but on the other side of it. So, systemic circulation is the portion that brings oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. So, that's all. Thank you.